back to Roundball Report.
The last time the Washington Mystics were right here on the home court, they were facing off against the top team in the WNBA and the Minnesota Lynx. The Mystics fell short, losing to the Minnesota Lynx 98-73, but they're looking today to bounce back right back here at home, this time against the Indiana Fever. Today's game is crucial as the Washington Mystics sit just a half game above the New York Liberty in the Eastern Conference standings, and guess what? They will be putting Elena Deladon back in the starting lineup, so we're looking for a win right here at home.
All right. A little better feeling than 48 hours ago. Obviously, you know, everyone's a good win, but when you bounce back that way, that's probably, you know, as satisfying as anything to have a game where, you know, we need a win. We're still not, you know, 100% healthy and not everybody here, but if you had told me at the end of training camp that after 10 games we'd be 7-3 despite all the stuff that's gone on, I'd say, okay, we'll take it. So there we are. Now we have a week to kind of try to get healthy, get stuff cleaned up, get better execution, and you know, it's a good position to be in. Questions?
But you talked about bouncing back. What did you guys do to regroup yesterday?
Kind of what I talked about the other night, you know, is that mainly talk about, you know, you're in a situation, excuse me, where, you know, you lost to the best team. And, you know, things like that happen. It's the same as in the game. If you have a turnover, you got to play the next play. And so letting that be a hangover would be the worst thing you could do. And the mark of a good team we talked about is the one that can bounce back after a game like that and do the right things. And we had a great shoot around yesterday, upbeat, and you could tell that, you know, okay, we're moving on. We'll learn from the other day, and you know, here's another opportunity to put distance between ourselves and some teams. So I just thought that their mood for today started yesterday when they walked in the door. Excuse me.
Obviously, Mike, you guys are a better team when Elena is playing beyond the scoring.
Yep.
What else does she change on the court that you goes from where you were the other day to this one?
Well, a couple things. Number one, because she's such a good scorer, she attracts more defenders around her, and other people end up with more room to operate. We get more drives sometimes. We got to the free throw line again today because as a team we were able to get to the basket. It helps our other post player. For instance, I mean, I thought Crystal Thomas had a terrific game tonight, but Elena allows her to get one-on-one coverage in the post. And because we have other shooters on the floor with Christie and Taylor and others, you know, it's nice if you're the other post player to not see double teams or see extra defenders in the lane. So Elena opens that up for everybody. She rebounds the ball, and she, you know, for the most part is getting blocked shots every night. She only had one tonight. She's pretty sore, but she just, her defense seems to get better every week. And, you know, when she came here, that was one of our biggest goals for her, is to make her, you know, a very good defensive player, which she's capable of. And, you know, people have kind of just let her be an offensive player as coaches. And I just think that's, you know, somewhere along that there's been a disservice to her in that regard.
Coach, on Friday you mentioned Crystal Thomas and with Tiana Hawkins in minutes. And it seems like it took an adjustment for them to handle that Friday. But today, Crystal Thomas had a little bit of room to grow and make mistakes and keep moving. So, you know, do you think that having more time on the floor Friday prepped her for today, or just
I think it does in some ways, but I think actually having less time helps them be more efficient. I mean, they were exhausted on Friday with all the minutes they had to play. You know, when you don't have Emma's minutes and you don't have Elena's minutes, you know, people who are anywhere from 15 to 20 minute a game players are all of a sudden 25 to 30 minute. And part of it's a conditioning thing, and part of it is that, you know, you get a lot more attention from defenders in a game like that. Now you get to play kind of your normal rotation today, and that helps everybody.
Speaking of that rotation that you have now, you know, obviously when Emma comes back, things may be probably a little bit different. So how do you think players like Crystal Thomas and players like Tiana Hawkins getting minutes now are going to help you moving forward?
I think it's going to help a lot because we'll have the depth that we kind of counted on with all the off-season moves. We can do a lot of things. The other thing it allows us to do is that we can actually play Elena as the small forward sometimes and play a really big lineup occasionally. And, you know, that defensively will put a lot of pressure on people because we can clog the lane. And offensively, because you have now all big people who can spread the floor. I mean, you know, two of the best three-point shooters are Deladon and Meesman, and so, you know, teams are going to have to pick their poison and how they play us. And so I think the added depth will help everybody.
What do you think teams miss with Thomas? I mean, she hasn't started this many games since 2012, but seems to really...
And she had a really good year that year.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I mean, I think, you know, people kind of get put into a box sometimes as to what they are or aren't. And what we've tried to do with her is enhance the things she does well. She knows the things that aren't her, you know, strengths, and she tries to stay away from those things. You know, she's not going to do what the other post is. She's not going to step out to the three-point line and shoot the shot. She's going to, you know, go to the basket. She's going to get on the offensive boards. I think some of the underrated part of the game, she does well. Screening to get people open, defending and talking on defense and clogging the lane. I mean, every time Wheeler went in the lane and she was in the game, there wasn't really any space to go anywhere. You know, we didn't block a ton of shots tonight, but the presence of size like that in the lane that she brings deters people from attacking the rim. So it's just as helpful whether you block a shot or not if they just don't go sometimes. And I think she does those things well, and she knows who she is. And so, you know, when we brought her here, it wasn't to be a starter necessarily, but to play, you know, 15, 20 minutes. And when Emma comes back, that rotation may change. But against certain teams, she'll play more minutes, and some teams, you know, depending on matchups, she won't. But she knows who she is, and she likes to be a part of winning, and I think that's a big part of it for her. We're taking tomorrow off. We're taking Thursday off. So we'll go a day off, 2 days on, a day off, 2 days on, and the last of those 2 days will be a walkthrough preparation day for Dallas. So we're trying to get them some rest, but also get some repetitions on some things we need to do on Tuesday and Wednesday to clean up some things that we just haven't had time to practice with the travel and everything else. And the injuries, you really have to limit your practice time. We'll get our guys' practice squad in here one day so we can go against them and get kind of that physicality feeling back a little bit too.
Did you like the looks they got tonight on offense? It seems like Indiana's defense was willing to give a little bit of time.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we got some good looks. I thought that we got easier ones in the first quarter than we would normally get against them. When they finally started playing in the second quarter, I don't think we responded as well. But in the second half, we got back to doing the things we had done in the first quarter, and it got back to being balanced and ball movement and better screening. I thought we were standing around too much in the second quarter.
How do you feel like the rookies are doing so far? I know they haven't had a lot of playing time, although they got more on Friday. But particularly Shatori, what have you seen in practice?
I mean, that's when they made the team, I basically told them that our practices are your games, and that, you know, you have to use those as a learning thing, be a sponge. I think it's hard sometimes to come from being, you know, the star of where you've been to now sitting on the bench and not knowing if you're going to play. One of the things I've harped at them both about is, and it's happened to Shatori once or twice, you know, I kind of think she thinks she's not going to play that night, and then I put her in and she's like, oh, shoot, you know, and to assume every night you're going to play. And if you don't, you don't. But, you know, you're not turning down your paycheck every Friday, you know, by sitting on the bench. So it's part of being a pro athlete, and you learn and you get better, and then be ready when your time comes. Everybody's going to have a time where we're going to need them. And so I think they've been good. I mean, they talk the game. They are both basketball junkies. So they try to, you know, ask the veterans and the coaches questions about all sorts of things. And I think it's been good. I'm happy with it.
Like everybody is just like overlooked you, and now you're getting the chance, and it's like going pretty well.
Yeah, a lot of it honestly is me and kind of just the path that I've been in my career. You know, 2 years ago I thought I was done playing. I had a serious injury. I thought I was done playing. And truly through the grace of God, I was able to get back here out on the court. And so now I just enjoy every moment. I live life, and I'm just thankful for the opportunity that Coach T's given me here with this team. And just the more bring back healthy and be able to play.
Are you still coaching, or is
I was coaching. I'm not coaching anymore. I was, but I'm not coaching.
Has that helped you? Like, do you think of the game a little bit differently now that you've been?
Yeah, it has. I watched film a little bit differently than I have before. Just kind of knowing the ins and outs from a coaching standpoint, what coaches are looking for. It's definitely helped in that aspect.
Coach said things have been kind of content with what you be in.
I just knew I had to pick it up. You know, I wasn't happy with my performance in the first half. You know, not really just scoring, just also on the defensive end, just not letting their guards, you know, snake and, you know, get opportunities for their other players. And I was pretty much upset on with myself on the defensive end, but I picked it up second half for the team and just brought that energy.
I'm here with Miss Tysons, who is with the Miss Northern Virginia Scholarship Organization. Anna, tell me a little bit, how are you enjoying this Washington Mystics game?
I'm having a great time. You know, we're an organization that's all about promoting strong women, so getting to come to a game and really see some amazing female athletes, it's been a really great time.
Perfect, thank you so much, and tell me a little bit about your title.
Sure, so I'm actually Miss Tysons, which is under the Miss Northern Virginia Scholarship Organization umbrella. So we have 3 different titles. We have Miss Northern Virginia, Miss Tysons, and Miss Capital Region, and all of our respective outstanding teams as well.
Perfect, well thank you so much, and congratulations to all you beautiful ladies. Thank you. It was a tale of 2 stories. As Friday night, the Washington Mystics left this very court in heartbreak, but today they left in triumphant victory with the 88-70 win to breeze past the Indiana Fever. And while the big story today was the return of the one and only Elena Deladon, who scored 25 points in her return today, even with the sore left groin muscle, the big overarching story was that of Washington Mystics center Crystal Thomas, who had her first career double-double of this season right here with 14 points. And of course, she's filling in for Emma Miesemann. Now, Coach Tebow said it best, if she keeps playing like this, the Washington Mystics will be a very dangerous team. And this win today solidified the Mystics win in the first place category in the East. They are now 7-3. The Washington Mystics will play back here at home on Sunday. For the Roundball Report, I'm Kelsey Nelson. Now back to the studios.